Wolf here. We are live on this Game Face Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. And as always, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching. As always, I have Mr. Richie Bello digitally by my side. And today we have a special guest. I would say probably if most direct mail or marketing businesses did 5 or 10,000 direct mail campaigns that were proven to be successful, that would be pretty darn good. This gentleman has done over 54,000 direct mail campaigns nationwide. Also has a bestseller on Amazon called Be Direct, which you could grab a copy of. And I'm sure anything else I'm leaving out about Mr. Anthony Tessito, he'll fill us in on. But it's awesome having you back on the show, Anthony. How you doing?
Well, it's great to be here, Lee. Thank you so much for having me. I love being with you guys. I love your show. I think you guys hit on all the hot topics in the industry right now, and you're just doing great work. And I'm just glad to be part of the team here today to share with your listeners what I know about direct mail and how they could benefit from it.
Awesome. And I'm looking forward to picking your brain here some more. Richie, how you doing?
Good, wonderful.
Good, wonderful. All right, awesome. Looks like you're in a really awesome lobby there. It almost looks like something out of The Shining, actually. But
Yeah.
pretty cool. Where are you now, Rich?
I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm trying to get this grants for our veterans, which I'm at the last step of it. So,
Awesome.
trying to get this going. I've been trying to get this. It took me a long time, 9 years, because you got to be 7 years as a nonprofit to even qualify for it. So,
Wow. Oh, pretty cool.
long
Good
time.
luck.
And
Good luck.
actually, the first day I came here, which was Wednesday, that Thursday,
Mhm.
I have a press release out. It was 9 years ago, the first time I went to Washington. So my meeting that I was called in to come here was, and I didn't even know about this, was exactly 9 years
Wow.
when I first came here. It was my anniversary Thursday, which was yesterday, that I first came to Washington, to the first place that I went, which is the Russell Senate building, where the Committee of Veterans Affairs is. So it's crazy.
Very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we're going to break away for 1 minute with a message from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, and then we're going to find out some more about Anthony's thoughts and Tessito Direct. Be right back.
ShopSmart Autos knows the new car market is starting to take a back seat, and pre-owned is where it's at. That's why it's time to seriously tap into the private seller market. With ShopSmart Autos, your dealership can now target private sellers by zip code and radius. Yes, anyone looking to sell their vehicle in your area. Once you decide how many opportunities you want and start reaching out, ShopSmart Autos launches a complete dealer-branded nurture program that drives those sellers straight to your showroom. And the best part? You get all the details on the seller and the vehicle, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. So grab that trade, put them behind the wheel of their next vehicle, and create a world of growth and retention. Auctions are cutting into your profits, and sourcing quality pre-owned vehicles takes too much time. ShopSmart Autos has the answer, driving the private seller market to your door.
All right. So, Anthony, give us in broad strokes. I know we've had you on the show before, but there's always new people watching and listening about Tessito Direct.
Okay, Tessito Direct started in 1980, and it started when Lee Iacocca had Chrysler and the K car, and they had too many of them. And what we did was multi-citywide tent sales for Chrysler. We drove a lot of traffic to multi-dealer events where we'd sell hundreds of cars using mail as the primary medium to get people to come in. And what debate, it was the Joe Garagiola days when he said, buy a car, get a check. And we included a check, a $300 check in the invitation. And people would bring their invitation and their $300 check to the tent sale at stadiums all over the country and stand in line to buy a car, and moved Chrysler. So that parlayed into dealer association events, ad agencies using direct mail for their clients, and then individual dealerships and private sales at dealerships. And that's basically how we got to 54,000.
Man, that's an intense number. So, and I know Tuxedo Direct is known as like the country's expert in the use of direct mail. So right now in the country, everyone is bombarded with digital marketing, right? I mean, it follows you everywhere. You basically can't escape it. You enter a store, boom, you're pinned. It's going to follow you around for the rest of your life, basically. Or you search for something and whatnot. Where has direct mail gone? Because I'm assuming that there's some kind of a bridge between the digital and the direct mail, but getting that piece, where's the bridge to the digital aspects of it that you're pulling off?
Well, with the advent of QR codes, what is beautiful about what we've been doing in the last 4 or 5 years is we're putting QR codes on our mail, and we're identifying people that are interested by their scan. As soon as they scan, we're able to identify that customer, who they are, everything we know about that customer, and we deliver that interested buyer to the dealership in a digital format. So what's happening is we've literally delivered a tangible piece of mail with a targeted marketing message that gets in the home when the salesman can't, and it stays with them as long as they want. Wow. And then whenever they're interested, they interact with the dealership that way. So it really works really well. And it's not just we're not just sending them to the dealership website. We send them to a variety of places. We can send them to the dealer's homepage. We send them to the used car department. We send them to the new car sales. We send them to the service department to schedule a service visit. And we're connecting with trade tools, and all those different departments are getting leads and working it that way as well. So the digital aspect for the consumer, they feel like, it's they're participating, they're interacting digitally. The dealership is seeing a digital response. We're able to track the responses that way. In the old days, we had a greeter on the showroom floor that would greet everybody that came in with a letter. Well, this is basically the same thing. Anybody that raises their hand digitally is an interested buyer. They're at the top of the funnel, and as a dealer, you get the opportunity to start working them from that. And there's once the conversation starts, it's up to the dealer to make that conversation go.
Right.
And I get a lot of discussion from BDCs that say, well, we get leads all day long. And I say, yeah, but the leads are so much more valuable that come from direct mail. And here's why. Your targeted message went to the customer. They opened it up, they read it, they scanned it, they interacted. That person now is reaching back to our reach out. So that is a whole different than somebody that's tire kicking, going to websites and kicking around and, just showing up on everybody's website. No, This is a customer. And the other thing is we know who that customer is, and we targeted that customer, and that's the customer we want to talk to. So those are the benefits.
Very cool. Yeah. QR codes. It's a funny thing, because and I'm sure a lot of people are this way. Most people, when email started, I was like, I'm not going to really necessarily need email. And then texting started, and I'm like, I'm watching everyone text, and I'm like, I don't really think texting is my thing. And now, of course, I can't get without 4,000 texts. QR codes hit, and I'm like, where is this going to fit in my life? And now I don't launch an app without QR codes on my TV. I'm grabbing QR codes all around me when I'm in stores. It actually, once you accept it, it's such a simplified way to pull information, and then obviously you're capturing information. Pretty cool.
And I want to emphasize, QR codes are on a lot of things, and what those things do is they bring you to wherever the QR code directs you, right? But what's different about ours is we know who's doing it, and we deliver who's doing it, when they do it, and where they went. So if you go to the used car department, I can tell the dealer, hey, you got a guy that's in your used car department. Whereas most QR codes just take them to the used car department. Now that you got to lead to somebody that's been in the used car department, but you don't know where they came from or how they got there. And that's the difference. So that's our proprietary software. And we've invested really millions of dollars in it over the years to really perfect it. And it's really that's the key for us, really.
Rich, what are your thoughts?
Well, I was lucky enough or blessed enough that I was at Anthony's office there, and we spent a lot of time and a lot of quality time. First of all, he showed me the data that he gets, which is the best that there is that I've seen, right? And second of all, with all this digital stuff that's going on, he does have a direct mail digitally. He does, because somebody opens up, scans that code, bang. Now and he does have what he was saying about the software. I spent a lot of time with him, with his son, I figured 2 or 3 hours, and I really had a really good understanding of that product line that he has. There's nobody else that I've seen. I know a lot of direct mail companies, and nobody else has that kind of technology that I saw. And this is why it's so good what he does, because how he's got it in today's day and age. There's a lot of direct mail people that just go their old school way of doing direct mail, and this is the difference between maybe 0.5%, of getting people in the doors. Anthony's product is, forget about it. It is digital. Like Lee, you were saying that you can't get away from digital. That direct mail as well. Once you understand his product line, and it's digitally right there from the first time it goes to your home.
Yeah. Wow.
We're
real excited. We're real excited. We just launched a product for an OEM. I can't tell you about it yet because it's still in early stages. But right now we're seeing over a 10% response. We're like a 12% response on it right now. So, which is unheard of for direct mail. It's incredible what this new product is that we're.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a digital. There's a digital integration, but it's absolutely fantastic what's happening with it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a day where it was like, expect 1%. At least that's what I was always told back when I was in the traditional days of direct mail, hitting 25,000 or 100,000 households in the area, and they would say, well, if you got 100 calls, you're in great shape, or 50 calls, 10%, that's astronomical.
It's absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in 47 years. So we're just so excited about it. The OEM's going nuts over it. It's just great. So,
wow. Now, is there a crossover does it cross over into social media, the direct mail campaigns?
Not mine. I have not integrated social. No.
Okay.
I think a lot of dealers will sometimes take the data and then go do something with it with their independent agency if they want. And do on top of it, but no. But sometimes we'll pile on some email as well to that targeted list, but not social. I'm not into social at all.
Okay, so you are you hitting them? Let's say you have a specific list that already has their email addresses attached to it, and you're hitting them with both, or are you pulling the data from these QR codes and then rolling from there and hitting them later with email marketing?
No, we're doing it from the get-go, the original manifest, and using that email. There are some techniques we use where we will continue to target those people that have raised their hand, but that's another option as well.
Wow. Yeah, Rich, I mean, based on your past experience, I mean, you've been in and out of dealerships for decades. I'm sure dealing with a lot of direct mail people, especially when it was just more traditional, just blanketing areas and hoping for the best. But a 10% return.
Crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's very easy to understand that even though Anthony's not talking about it, it's very easy to understand because once you get that product line and do what Anthony's got, and enhance that with digital, with tracking, with knowing, with there's so many technology out there. What he puts on, you can track when somebody hits a device. Now you can track, and that customer that you track, boom, you can do a stream ad also with that trackability. So it's like there's so many things you can do today that sky's the limit with the technology, and he's already got the technology. We know he's already got the barcode, and that's it. That barcode is key because that's tracking this.
Right.
And when this is tracked and you go home and you put it on the table, you have streaming. You got over the top, boom, and now you got, it's pretty easy to figure out how to get to 10%. It ain't a secret. If you understand today's day and age with the technology sector, the QR code is key. That's the start.
Mm-hmm.
Once that you have on there, that's why I was very impressed. And Anthony knows this. I was very impressed when I walked in there and he showed me QR code. I knew that from there, it's over.
Yeah, and we also put a call tracking number on that mail, so if they get any phone calls, we're tracking that call. We're reporting that in real time to the dealer, so that the manager can listen to the call and see how the salesperson took the call or the BDC took the call. Tracking those calls, it's another way to measure it. And then one of the other benefits that we're doing right now, which is we're downloading the DMS either daily or weekly or sometimes monthly, whatever, to evaluate performance. And so what we'll do is what we call a match back, and that's where we take the DMS data, where every deal that was sold in a month, new and used, and service ROs, because most of our campaigns include something for every department. I figure, if we're going to be targeting these people, we ought to give them every option. So we put a service campaign in there, we put a used car offer in there, we put a new car offer in there. But what we're able to do is track new and used car sales and then service ROs, and then we match it back to the targeted list. So you send out 10,000 letters and you look out and you say, okay, here's all the people that responded, and you match that back to their sales, and you're able to justify the ROI. Right. So, and I know that's one of the things that you guys wanted to talk about is ROI. Here's my thought on that, especially with our company. And it's, we give 100% ROI guarantee, 100% ROI guarantee. If you look at grosses these days, front and back, and then the service RO revenue stream, gross in service, there's no way you cannot make the money back that you're paying for a direct mail campaign. There's just no way. Wow. So we give 100% guarantee. And the worst part of it is most of the time we don't even bill the client until after the campaign has been done. So there's no ROI, if that matter. The campaign goes, we send the bill, they send us the money after the deal's done. And so there was I don't know if you can even calculate an ROI on no investment. So
very cool. Very cool. All right, let's just break away for 1 minute with another message from Shop Smart Autos, and we will be right back.
Before you spend another dime on marketing and advertising, inspect what you expect. The SSA VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos is the answer. Do you know your retention status? You might be losing hundreds of customers a month, but what if you could keep just a few more? Each retained customer means thousands in revenue, adding up to millions per year. The SSA VIN retention report is the inspection tool you've been looking for. Find out what you're missing before it costs you.
Yeah, it's funny you were saying before about you put the tracking number on there, and just again thinking back, and I know I'm always going back in time, but man, when we used to do direct mail, and we dealt with anywhere from 30 to 40 different automotive dealers in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. for traditional advertising. And anytime we did direct mail pieces, the first thing they would say is it didn't work. It didn't work. And we would say, well,
not.
Yeah, not one person would tell us whether they brought in that mailer. And we couldn't get people to, how did you hear about us? Why are you here? How did you get here today? Did you see an ad? It used to, and it was every single dealership was the same story. No one asked the questions. And it was like, how are we supposed to justify anything for these people if no one's at least asking or saying, oh yeah, we got 35 mailers that walked in the door? Or it was unbelievable. And then we would go to meetings and you would see the mailers. You would see they came in.
Sure, they're there. Sure they're there. Or they're always in somebody's pocket. All you got to do is ask for it.
But
one of the things that we're really good at is helping the dealer and his sales team, his BDC, to prepare for the event or prepare for the mailing. We make sure, one of the biggest mistakes that dealers make is they say, okay, we're going to do a mail campaign. They mail it out. Customer walks in with the letter and the salesman doesn't know anything about it. What is this? I don't know. I don't know. Who knows what this is? Oh yeah. I think they sent these out. And they don't even know what the letter says. Yeah. And the most important part is to be able to reinforce what the letter says. If the letter says there's discounts on these cars or there's an interest rate program or whatever the deal is, they have to be lip loaded and talk like that to reinforce, because the customers believed it and they came in and they need to be reinforced.
Absolutely.
Another thing, your ad was great. What those guys are doing with Shop Smart. One of the things that was I noticed that OEMs are really concerned about is customer retention, right, these days, because the loyalty factor is going down forget it. And so what direct mail can do is help customer retention. It really can. I mean, staying in touch with your customers. And I believe that, dealers always say, well, those are my customers. I don't need to talk to my customers. I need new customers. I got my customers. Well, I've said this for 47 years. They're not your customers. Sorry. Yeah, you sold them a car one time, but they're not your customer. Your customers are the only people that are in your showroom or on your service drive or in your shop. Those are your only customers right there. After that, they're anybody's customer. And what's happening is they think, oh God, I know they're going to come back. I know that they're my customer, but that's not the case. So customer retention is one thing. Sales efficiency is the other. With targeted direct mail, you can target the geographical area that the manufacturer has assigned you that you're responsible for. And in order to get more cars, in order to get the inventory you want, you got to be sales efficient. These two things are so important to the OEM, to the dealer. And if they just could understand how well direct mail can support that, they could really improve themselves on so many fronts. So customer retention and sales efficiency is really key, key.
Yeah, and Rich and ShopSmart has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt with the VIN retention report that dealers are losing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars a year with retention issues, right, Rich?
Yeah, and that's very easy for the OEM to fix, by the way. And I think that it has to get fixed through them. And it was we had great retention a long time ago. We're doing right now, take New York State, New Jersey, and Connecticut. We're doing right now 97% lease penetration. Okay, and lease penetration is growing and growing more and more all over the country. Why? Because the price of the car is so much more expensive, right? All they have to do is what they used to do, was give that customer, when their lease is up, no money out of pocket, sign and drive, right? With the registration. They gave that up years ago, 20-something years ago, and they put it in the hands of the dealership.
Right.
And now it's shotgun everywhere. You see a customer that they had Data Select. I'm pretty sure Anthony knows about Experian Data Select, right, Anthony?
Yep.
Okay, so when you looked at Data Select a decade ago, you saw the behavior was a predictor. That's what it was, right? And you saw the behavior Anthony Aceto had in the last 5 leases, the same car. You don't see that anymore.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as brand loyalty. Forget about
Right.
it. That's
That's
out
right.
the window.
That's
And
exactly
you
right.
see that. I've had Data Select as a very long time. When they first started with Data Select, I was one of the first guys that they gave the beta to. And I go on it, and just to get knowledge and see, there's nobody has the same vehicles. It's that predictor is completely off. It's like you don't even know what to target anymore. You really don't.
No.
So, and it's only a decade ago or 12 years ago. It's not that long ago, right? That things have changed since '08 or '09. You know, when you looked at that tool in '09, totally different tool. You said, wow, Lee Wolf has had 4 or 5 leases with this brand, right? Well, at that time, that's when they gave you the registration stuff. So things changed a lot. And the reason the OEM, by the way, stopped that, let's talk about why they stopped it. Because you used to give that customer that sign-in drive, and then because the dealer knew that that customer had the sign-in drive, then they would hit them higher. So then you were not converting as much as it was. So the dealerships abused the program like they usually do, right? And then the OEM pulled back the program, and now you have no retention.
Right.
You know? Because what they would say is, wait a minute, they get the sign-in drive for, let me bounce the payment. They're going to stay with us. Well, and that's what happened. When you abuse something, it goes away.
Right.
And that's what they did. They abused that so much that now it goes away. Now they have to reinvent their retention, and they don't have the money. They don't have the backup that an OEM has to do that.
Right.
And they abused that for years. You remember, Anthony, how it was. The customer doesn't have to pay anything out of pocket. Okay, let's get $50 more a month. Well, then they started losing customers, and and that's what happens. And it's unfortunate that the OEM, instead of putting the right process in place or doing something good, something of value, they just said, let's shut it down.
Right.
Because they would send that out. And when it first started, it was 80%, 70%. And then it started going down. So it became useless because the dealer itself destroyed it. And I really wish that program would come back, because that program would help a lot of dealers. I've had my input to say, I've told certain people in Michigan and that's what needs to be done. But it's the dealerships abused it, and they'll abuse it again.
Yeah.
And now that's costing so much money, when you had that, you automatically had some retention, say 18, 21%. Then all you got to do is do what you do, deal with Anthony and do that. And now you're at 45, 50% retention,
Right.
And now your cost per acquisition drops. Like, for an example, Anthony, let's pick his product line right now. I would be a dealer, right? With the type of direct mail that he's got, I would tell Anthony, hit all my customers that are in my DMS. Hit everybody. Because Google, there's something called Growth Google, which is a blog. If you look that up, okay, about 6 months ago, at the beginning of the year, or 7 months ago, Google said it's all about the devices.
Right.
All about the devices with Anthony's technology. And I think that Anthony's technology tracks your device. Is that correct, Anthony?
Yep.
Okay. So that technology with Anthony's device, the trackability, now you can get that, and you can get over the top. Once this mobile thing, you do it like this, and you go somewhere and you put it on the table there, and you put streaming on, there's technology, the technology, boom, you see an ad there. And you know what that does? That makes that direct mail powerful. It was when you used to call it saturation direct mail. Saturation direct mail standard for cable, radio. You did the inserts with the local newspapers. And when you sent out direct mail, you were getting big percentages like what Anthony's talking about, when you did saturation,
Right.
direct mail. When you do it just alone, it's a whole different thing. And that's
right.
the same thing Anthony's got today. Only difference is it's all digital with more opportunity than it ever was.
Right. Another problem dealers are seeing, as you know, is just losing customers left and right all the way around. But one of the places they're really losing customers is in the service department, and
Right.
they're losing them to Shade Trees, Pep Boys, and everybody else that's out there. And one of the things that direct mail can do is bring those customers back. It's amazing to see the loss of customers in the service department after the second or third year because the warranty's going. As soon as the warranty's gone, they're gone. They're history. They go somewhere else.
Right.
And one of the biggest problems is that the dealer is perceived as the most expensive place to go for service. And what we can do with direct mail is educate the customer and say, no, that's not the case. We're cheaper than Pep Boys. We're cheaper than Firestone and all these other guys that are competing for people to come in for service. So that's one of the things that dealers should really, really, really give some consideration to, and that is a personalized service campaign that is consistently driving their customers back into the dealership for service, programs that don't expire right away. They can extend over time. That's one of the things that's really interesting is with this trackability. We're seeing people that we sent letters to a year ago because we're still tracking them. We still have the accountability. They're scanning and they're interacting with the dealer after a year. They've had the mail piece a year. And they do that. People hold on to those things. They put it in their drawer. They say, hey, when it's time, I'm going to use this coupon. I'm going to use this discount offer. I'm going to go to this website. I'm going to do it. But they'll hold on to it, which is when you want the customer to be talking to you when they're ready. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's interesting, Anthony, about what you said is it's real simple to figure out why dealers are not doing direct mail. Dealerships on the service department, because they have this tunnel vision. The OEM stopped doing so much co-op, right? On print, right?
Yeah.
So now that 30% that they were doing, right, for service, let's say, right? Now they stopped that. Example. Now the dealership has to pay that out of his own pocket, and he's got all kinds of problems with that, right? So they fight and argue with the OEMs, because when the OEMs was doing the co-op, right, they would right away cut the check, no problem, right? Well, now you're hurting yourself because of that little, like when you look at 30%, is not a big deal, or 40% is not a big deal for them to give it back to you. It comes in through parts, okay? And it's a whole thing, okay?
Right.
So you still got to float the money, okay? But they don't figure it like that. They look at it, well, there's the money. I have the money. So now it's not costing me. It is, because now it's costing you that. But now it's costing you the money on the customers. Now your vehicles of operation is dropping, right? Your ROs are dropping and your hours per RO are dropping, and then your parts revenue is dropping. I mean, all that over 30 or 40%.
Yeah.
It's like really such dealers. I mean, they do stuff that makes totally no sense when the OEM cuts back a little bit. And for the OEM sector, I'm telling you something, they cut back to add it on social to give people more money on social media. Okay. It made no sense to me when they did it. And you know what I'm talking about, Tony? That made no sense to do that.
That's right. That's right.
That really made no sense to do that, because obviously the cost per acquisition today is the highest it's ever been in the history of the automotive sector. It's never been this high. Why is it that high? Because they geared everything towards digital, Google,
That's right.
Facebook ads, everything. And now the direct mail, that was always a big profit center, and you would sell 10,000 pieces at 0.5%. Okay.
Right.
At 0.5%, you're still selling 40 or 50 cars. And if you have an event in direct mail that is being run by the promoter, you really blow up.
Right.
You know, I
That's
have
right.
a friend named Val Mazzone that he does direct mail, but he doesn't do it like you. He really does direct mail. He's a professional trainer, so he runs the promo. The guy does the direct mail. All he does is runs it, and he's very successful with it. Okay, why? Because you have that. You can't do that. You can now say, I got to get 50 or 100 customers over the weekend with Google. That would cost you a fortune. You're
Right.
not going to have it. It's a much slower process. You go
Right.
down, say, let's get 25,000 pieces out. Okay, in this market, let's do saturation. You're going to get the traffic
Right.
like you did back at one time. So now the third party leads and all that, it's so much harder because it's one lead at a time. It's basically, how do you eat an elephant, right?
Right.
It's one lead at a time. There's no driving that kind of phone traffic and that kind of appointment. There's none of
Right.
that anymore.
Right.
And with this product line that you've created and you have, that drives that urgency back into the dealership's lap.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
so
co-op.
yeah, another product that we've really done really well with is our service buyback program, where we're targeting service customers that have been in, and we're asking them, hey, we saw your car in here. I want to buy it, and we will compensate you for the service bill you just had. So that's really, really working really well.
Wow.
Targeting the service customers. They're usually they bought the car from you usually, and anybody else that brings a car in. It's such a great place to buy a car. It's such a great place. I mean, you're trying all these other ways to buy cars at the auction, and you're paying out the nose for cars. People in your service department are the most likely to sell you their car. It's such a no-brainer, and we're really making headway using mail to get them in the service department, and then get them back in and saying, "Hey, look, we want to buy that car from you."
Yeah.
So
yeah, my father was.
that's another program that's really helping grosses in the service department, and also lower acquisition costs of pre-owned vehicles for your inventory.
Yeah, it's amazing. My father was flipped 3 times in service into brand new cars. Each car he only had a year to 18 months. So I know it definitely works when they put the effort in.
Yeah.
So Richie, I know you have to get on the road, and I know Anthony has to hit 55,000 direct marketing campaigns today.
We're on the way. It's happening.
Anthony, I'm sure it's easy, but tell them where to find you.
Yeah. Tecito Direct is where you find us. You can email me, ajtecito@tecito.com. Our 800 number is 800-621-2225. Tecito Direct.
Awesome. And Richie, you have any closing thoughts?
That's it. Closing thoughts is I got to roll.
Okay.
Good luck with that. That's great work that you're doing there, Richie. Really good.
Thank
Really
you
good.
so much.
And I love being on the show. You guys keep it up. You guys are doing such a great job. Really, a lot of good information. I hope dealers use it, and hopefully we'll see some of them.
Yeah, thank you. And it's great having you on the show. Thanks. And Richie, as always, thanks for having me by your side. And thanks to everyone out there for watching and listening. And we will be back again very soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.